Yeah, sounds good. I wanted to get your advice on a short piece. I wanted to record your voice as an answer to this question.
Sure, not a
Um,
problem. You can do it
my
now or later?
just right now, I'm going to give you the
Oh, go
piece.
ahead, hit it.
Yeah, this is the piece that I heard my principal say. He said he has read recently the Big Picture, and he wants all of the teachers to read Big Picture and therefore start personalizing. And he's layering on top the concept of time is flexible so that a student who might not get a concept, say there's 5 concepts to cover in 2 weeks, maybe the kid only gets through 2 of the concepts. Well, time is flexible, and somehow the teacher makes it fluid enough somehow so that the
To
kid,
accommodate that, to give the kid the space to breathe.
right, the teachers who are saying, yeah, but I've got, at the end of the year, I'm going to be judged by how much content I delivered.
I understand completely. They don't realize that the engagement they give the kid will reap that benefit by their performance on whatever test or measure they use later, because the kid will run through the wall for them. Because they were giving the kid that first initial space and opportunity to make this thing roll out. I understand the question.
Because it's really good for the kid to have space to become a master of 2 concepts, even though he's could have been presented with 5 concepts, but we're trying to do the flipped classroom where the kid doesn't get the next concept until he really masters and understands the first 2.
Well, in my opinion, you're limiting the kid, but that's another story. Hi, everybody. Just a thought about personalizing instruction. One of the concerns that a lot of people have all over the U.S. and the world is a pacing plan, a guide, a standard, a measure, an assessment that we look at and we say, oh my goodness, these things are going to happen to me. So I've got to respond to that pressure, if you want to call it, or that standard, that assessment. And sometimes we forget that by empowering young people with an opportunity to be flexible in what we do and how we do and how we present it and when we give it, and the space of time allowed to do it, sometimes driving you to impatience, still, okay, is the way to go, because the young person will then latch onto you like a leader, if you will, or better yet, as someone who they really respect and admire because of what you've done for them. And then, in fact, when the time comes for the mentioned assessment or performance, they stun you with their performance because you say, wait a minute, how did that happen? The personalization of instruction takes a person back to the love of learning, the base for all of us of why we learned in school as an elementary kid, middle school, and then into high school. How do we get kids back into that thinking? We've got to give them the opportunity to express themselves and who they are in a passionate way by the interest in being flexible enough. Of course, you have to know when to rein them in, don't let them get too carried away in doing nothing, but yet show them the opportunity to express themselves as they feel appropriate. When that happens to that young person, they're now indebted. Example, when I break bread with our students from time to time, we stop instruction. There's no instruction going on. And way back when, teachers would tell me, well, I've got to get this and this and this chapter done. I said, relax, slow down. It's like the old, do I teach all the standards or just a few? Well, just a few. So we break bread. And in the actual eating and breaking bread, teacher, student, me, and everybody, the kids began to feel family. And they said, you know what? When they call on me, that being school, parents, adults, and teachers, I will respond because of that respect that I receive and that nurturing to make the learning exciting in me, the love of which drives me to excel, drives me to go from 0 to whatever, 60 in 1 second, if you will, okay? Perfect example, I've mentored my son, he's a science teacher, 8th grade in California at a school. For several years, he's kind of watched what I believe in and done it. He's used this mostly lab experiments in the classroom, and teachers will say, wait a minute, that's not part of the pacing guide or the textbook. Well, they just finished the results of the CSG. He had 87% proficient, 67% advanced at a school that never measured more than 30-some-odd%. They jumped that dramatically. So immediately the principal, knowing what was going on, says, wow, this stuff really works. So I think as we look at it as educators, that's the answer. Don't be concerned. Be conscious of your assessment, standard, measure, benchmark, etc. But be flexible enough to create the environment where the young person loves their learning. And when that happens, get out of the way. They'll stun you. You will graduate kids at 16 years of age. Or new American high school said, why don't we graduate them at 14, give them a certificate of competence instead of a diploma, whatever you want to call it. So that's, in a nutshell, a lot of words. If you need me for any reason, please feel free to contact me at Highland Park High School. My name is Enrique Gonzalez, and thank you for tolerating these words that we've shared. Thank you.